If you know our center, 12 years ago, we were one of the leading opponents to the controversial Roadmap Rhode Island plan, which was adopted statewide. Richmond was actually used as a model for some of the sustainable development and affordable housing projects that the Roadmap Rhode Island plan advocated for. And a lot of that we feared was at the expense of property owners and the sovereignty of local zoning decisions made by the town council. Looking back over the years now, in your view, has Richmond's Roadmap Rhode Island compliant local comprehensive plan been a net benefit or harm to the rights of property owners and to economic development? I'll make this an optional question because I know some of you haven't been around that long. Who would like to weigh in on that? Go ahead, Michael.
Um, what's happening right now is there's discussion with the planning board and with the state plan is to bring in affordable low-income housing along the Route 138 corridor. They want to basically take a lot of the valuable industrial land and turn it into low-income housing. They want to put in sewers going down 138 to be able to take care of all that low-income moderate housing. And at the price tag, as I've looked and I've talked to many of people that would know what a project that would encompass in the price. The price on bringing sewers down 138 would be $40 million. And a lot of that would be on the backs of the Richmond taxpayers. And then on top of that, when you look at the amount of kids that would be brought into the system, it would overwhelm our schools. It would basically bury the middle class here in Richmond to basically take care of what the state has caused. The state caused this problem with housing. The state has caused a lot of these problems with low income and whatnot. Now they want to bring it to our rural areas, and we don't have the infrastructure for that.
Yeah, that is the whole design of the HUD and the Roadmap Rhode Island thing is to bring it into rural areas. Anyone else like to weigh in on that question? Go ahead, Thomas.
Yeah, what did you call it? Roadmap Rhode Island?
Right.
Yeah, when I first learned about that about a year ago, I said, this is another example of Big Brother, of top down. And thank you for opposing it, Mike. I mean, this thing is out of control. When I came to Richmond, I thought Richmond is working class people. They're in control of their town, decent people. Kids go to school, their churches, all that kind of old fashioned stuff. And I get here, and there are these progressive liberals or whatever they are, and they come from the cities and they've got the same ideas and they want to be the nanny state and all that. No, the people of Richmond should have the power to determine their destiny, and they should be in charge of that. It's not the state of Rhode Island, which is they're just puppets to the federal government. I'm totally against this kind of government. It's about the people, and that's the way the founding fathers designed it, and that's we're losing our town, we're losing our freedoms, we're losing our power if we don't stand up.
Right about that. The federal government, through these community development block grants, basically bribe local towns like Richmond into funding and subsidizing some of these developments that the people really don't want in their town. But a lot of town councils just can't say no to the money. Anybody else want to weigh in on this topic? Nell.
Yep. The urbanization of rural communities and an attempt to solve the Rhode Island self-inflicted housing crisis is something we simply can't afford. We can't afford it. Our infrastructure will collapse. Our school district, a regional school district in which we pay, we contribute based off of how many students we put into the district. We simply can't afford it. And I couldn't agree with my teammate Tom more in saying that this isn't what people moved to this community for. This isn't why we stay here. The urbanization is not welcome. The progressive ideology is just not what Richmond wants.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'd like to say something.
Go ahead, Roger.
I think this is the very item that's the canary in the coal mine, which shows me, a perfect example of progressive Democrat social programming, literally on the back of the taxpayers, without without taking in account of the monies and the dilution of the education system. That's just my opinion. Every time I hear that, there's better ways of doing things.
One of the features of Roadmap Rhode Island that we were concerned about was the use of eminent domain to force property owners to sell their lands, their homes, their businesses, whatever. So my question is this, even apart from Roadmap Rhode Island, just in general now, even for ostensible economic development purposes like a private industry, should eminent domain, again, which forces property owners to sell their land, their homes, or their businesses, ever be invoked for a private commercial for-profit project as opposed to some public works purpose, where everybody could benefit? Should eminent domain ever be used to bring in a private for-profit enterprise? Let's, yes or no question. We'll start with Jeff.
No.
Mike,
Absolutely not.
Roger,
Sets up corruption. Absolutely not.
Nell,
No.
and Thomas.
No.
Okay. Let's talk about a place I've been curious about, never been there. It's in your town, the Preserve.